Fantastic. I love it. So let's come forward to the present day. And so what are you now doing and what are you offering people? How can people work with you or Sunshine or whoever else is in the gang? What's happening now?
It's interesting. It's funny when I first sent information to you and we first started to connect on this. I don't know that I was ready to fully commit to, um, like calling, like I said, my responsibility here as Earth goes through this next evolution. And the way that I would describe it, I'm kind of saying this for the first time, so please bear with me, is I believe in a human-centric future, not an AI-centric future. AI certainly should be a tool the same way that a tool is to a carpenter. But I believe that we are capable of peace through unification by investing in the human, in the individual, that there's more to all of us than we know, that we all have more gifts, wisdom, and abilities than what we've been made aware of. And that's important because when we think about how do we unlock the human potential, well, if we think that this is just what we are and it's good as it gets, well, then yeah, you need to lean into something like technology to continue to further the evolution of humanity. But when you recognize that there's much more to the human, well, now all of a sudden it changes the narrative, and we can come together through a shared purpose of investing in ourselves to be better carpenters instead of giving up our agency to the tool itself. And then speaking of tools, right, part of my responsibility is also providing the infrastructure, tools, systems, and products that foster that personal empowerment by helping to both teaching people how to tap into this for themselves, but then also providing the infrastructure for I'll call it a complementary society that's operating, that's human-centric, to be able to be born and to flourish, to lead by example. Because that's the other part of things that, it's not an either or thing, right? And there needs to be a place for the new to emerge. And so that's where NGen Solutions is, the kind of sub-society or complementary society focused on that. Kind of like the same way for those that would watch either an X-Men and they would watch the Xavier School for the Gifted, or Harry Potter and they would go to Hogwarts and it was in a different area, right? Same physical space, same worlds, but kind of different belief systems. And so if I want people to believe that we're here to learn from differences and that we can come together through our differences, well, then I need to be able to demonstrate that. I don't need to yell. I don't need to scream. I don't need to say that your way is not right or my way is better. There's enough people yelling at each other. What we're lacking is demonstration of what's possible, demonstration that we can come together, demonstration that that the human potential, unlocking the human potential, exists by investing in humans, not necessarily just investing in technology. So as part of NGen, I'm focused on the first thing is health and wellness, right? Understanding ourselves and treating ourselves as beings of consciousness who possess more than the traditional five senses to navigate life is the first step, right? Because if hurt people, then healed people heal people. So we've got to be able to put on our own air mask, before we can help others. Then the next is focusing on training and education as individuals, both understanding our own individual journeys, and whether that be through, status quo in traditional society or, a more non-traditional society, right? The point is about creating choices for people and letting each person make the choice, but doing it because it's their choice and they're as educated as possible and supported in that choice. Then once you have people that are healed, educated, now we get into the economic opportunities, and we're focused then on employment opportunities and self-employment or income generation. Right. And so that's providing certain things to like the barter marketplace and the campus credits program, which is helping people to work together and sharing their gifts as the economy evolves and changes with the influence of AI. That's going to affect efficiencies, as well as the spiritual community needs some of its own infrastructure to come together as a collective, right? We have a lot of experts, we have a lot of people, but what we lack is the infrastructure kind of bringing us all together to create that stability and growth. And then finally, many of us feel drawn, kind of come wired for our own sort of passion projects or social injustices that we want to tackle. And so then that's kind of the last leg of the stool that I'm focused on.
Great. That's good. So the people doing that are going to be people who've got quite a strong foundation beneath them before they start doing that, rather than just when they're, you know, too young and too stupid to actually do anyone any good.
So I would invite, so it'd be like people like yourself, right? I would invite you to be a part of these networks, to be a part of these teachers, right? It's going to take a village, right? It's not just about what I have to share. That's for sure.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds really exciting. So if some